Roll A, take A.
Thanks for joining us for this edition of the Newsfeed. I'm Jay So.
And I'm Allie Lemaire.
Views on female leadership and LGBTQ rights have been a hot topic in the church. One particular denomination believes those debates are unnecessary. Blacksburg Presbyterian Church has been around since 1832. It is one of several groups that ordains women and LGBTQ individuals as church elders, despite a belief by many that the Bible does not allow for either to be leaders. The denomination as a whole also changed its definition of marriage to include LGBTQ members in 2014. Senior pastor Dr. Catherine Taylor believes people should pursue ministry if they truly feel called to it.
To focus in and say that women shouldn't be in leadership roles, to me, is very preposterous. It's also utterly contradicts my own personal experience of being called by God. So I would say to anyone who feels they have a call, let the community confirm that call. And they will, if it's real.
Taylor added that although she believes Christ would be heartbroken by the divisions in the church, differences are a good thing because it shows people take Scripture seriously, and that there is universal agreement in many fundamental ways.
Most students would say they're excited about renovations set to take place on War Memorial Hall, but the club gymnastics team is one exception. The Virginia Tech Club Gymnastics team practices and hosts meets in War Memorial Hall. Right now, the gym consists of a full spring floor, beams, parallel bars, rings, and 2 trampolines. With the renovations, Virginia Tech is not planning on rebuilding a new gymnastics gym due to the space a full gym occupies. Team member Tara Weinstein shares more.
The renovations basically mean that our team is going to be kicked off campus, which is upsetting. We're not really going to be fully recognized through the university anymore.
Next year, the team will be forced to practice in Christiansburg, and men's gymnastics may cease to exist due to limited space. The new gym expects to have a new multi-level CrossFit gym. The 70-person team is still fighting for their program's future.
Many students at Virginia Tech have been affected by cancer in some way, shape, or form. A new organization called Be Positive has stepped foot on campus to try to help pediatric cancer patients and their families in a unique way. While there are many causes and organizations on campus that raise money for cancer research, organization Be Positive is the biggest provider of financial assistance for patients and their families. Be Positive supports families by not only investing in research and trials, but also paying bills, gas funds, mortgages, and everything in between.
I think anyone can get behind hating childhood cancer. No child should be told that they're diagnosed with cancer. 46 kids diagnosed a day is just way too many, and a lot of the research actually going on, kids aren't eligible for trials.
Be Positive started after Andrew McDonough, a 14-year-old cancer patient, tragically passed away. His father Joe took his son's blood type and outlook on life, Be Positive, and turned it into something bigger. Although the large national foundation has a small chapter at Virginia Tech, the students involved are extremely dedicated to the cause and hope that it continues to flourish in coming years.
Students Helping Honduras is an organization that has a presence on many college campuses, including Virginia Tech. The organization strives to end extreme poverty and gang violence in the world's most dangerous country. Through students' fundraising efforts, these aspirations are possible. Newsfeed reporter Lexi Fields has more on this report.
Virginia Tech Students Helping Honduras hosts their biggest fundraising event of the year, their annual thrift shop. While most fundraising events raise hundreds of dollars, this event aims to raise $1,000. The money raised funds student trips to Honduras, where the students help build schools across the country. There are various Students Helping Honduras clubs in the U.S., and each club is assigned a specific school to work on. Each school costs $25,000 to build. After that amount is fundraised, ground is broken and students can begin helping build the school. The Virginia Tech chapter has many fundraising events throughout the school year, but sophomore Alessa says this one is especially important.
We do like bake sales, we'll do like door-to-door coin drives where we sell coffee and ask for donations, and so this is one of our bigger ones. I would say we aim for about like $1,000 to $2,000, and some of other fundraisers raise $50 to a couple $100, so it's one of our larger ones.
The organization fundraises throughout the school year. Over winter break, a group of students will travel to Honduras for 1 week to begin on the Virginia Tech chapter's new project. Club member Jared traveled to Honduras this past summer and says his experience there was incredibly rewarding.
In terms of being in Honduras, it really shows like the passion people have here in building the school there.
Students will travel to Honduras this December. These fundraising efforts will help cover the costs of that trip. Reporting for the Newsfeed, I'm Lexi Fields.
Just ahead on the Newsfeed, we'll hear from Newsfeed reporter Matthew Atkins about the Blacksburg and Christiansburg high school rivalry.
And how students are looking to independent coffee shops after the closing of the Main Street Starbucks. That story and more after this break.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Welcome back to the Newsfeed. I'm Jay So.
And I'm Allie Lemaire. The term college athlete is currently being redefined as competitive video games are making their way to the big stage. Video game streams are getting more viewership in the 18 to 25-year-old demographic than that of the NBA Finals and World Series, and colleges are beginning to notice. Recently, schools like the University of Utah, Boise State, and Miami University of Ohio have created programs to attract a unique breed of students. They are even offering scholarships to players. Competitive gamers at Virginia Tech are hopeful for the future of the sport and are pushing for the school to recognize their program.
All collegiate eSports is people are going to be recruited for scholarships to come and play, and it's going to really raise the skill level in general of the whole collegiate scene. Just because you have a lot of college level students play these games.
Startup programs for eSports are relatively cheap compared to other sports, and with the potential to win prize money and gather large online audiences, it is only a matter of time until the NCAA brings eSports into the fold.
Two local high schools have developed a rivalry a century in the making. Blacksburg and Christiansburg reached a historic milestone in their game against each other this season. Newsfeed reporter Matthew Atkins joins us from the newsroom with more. Matt?
Thanks, Jay. This rivalry is one of the biggest games of the year for both teams, and I got to see up close what it means to the coaches and those around the program. Blacksburg and Christiansburg high schools play each other in football every year to end the regular season. The game has earned the nickname Battle of the Bergs and has become one of the most significant high school rivalries in the area. Current Blacksburg head coach Eddie Sloss says the proximity of the schools contributes to the rivalry.
Just being so close to the area, the community of Blacksburg, Christiansburg in the same county, we've always had a big rivalry between the two of us, not only in football and pretty much all the sports.
Coach Sloss says this game has been played for a long time, and he means it. This season, the two teams played their 100th game against each other right here at Bill Brown Stadium in Blacksburg, with the Blacksburg Bruins taking home the victory. Even those who aren't directly involved with the teams can see the significance of getting to 100 games. Local radio host Paul Van Wagner has experienced the game 3 times and recognizes its place as a historic rivalry.
I don't know that you can find two schools that have played each other that many times. Because of redistricting and school zones changing and things like that, Blacksburg, Christiansburg have just always been here. So it has been an opportunity. You don't get that opportunity to get to 100 games very often.
The game leaves its mark on players as Coach Sloss still remembers a tough loss from his junior year.
my junior year, we played Christiansburg, and we were supposed to win that game, and they beat us. They upset us, and they sent us home, and they ended up playing in the state semifinals.
Blacksburg got revenge during his senior season, defeating Christiansburg before winning the state championship.
With their 35-0 win over Christiansburg this year, the Bruins now lead the series with 56 wins. The win in this season's game also clinched just the second undefeated season in Blacksburg history. I'm Matthew Atkins reporting for the Newsfeed. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Matt. Having a job while balancing schoolwork can have its pros and cons, one of the biggest factors being the location. For college students, there are many different jobs available while you're a student. At Virginia Tech, there are various jobs that are offered on campus. On the other hand, though, one can also venture out into the Blacksburg community to find a job as well. Some students are more attracted to the on-campus job as they hope for more understanding when it comes to class scheduling. While those who work off-campus feel that though it might be harder to work around their schedule, they enjoy stepping away from the classic college demographic.
Like if you have study sessions or exams or you are stressing out, just let us know and keep us in contact and keep us posted and we'll make it work.
I run into a lot of different kinds of people. I feel like working on campus you might only run into students and maybe professors, but working off campus I run into students, professors, and people that just live in Blacksburg.
While they have their differences, both students at on-campus and off-campus jobs agree that working has been a beneficial aspect of their time. They say it provides extra funds to make college life better.
The town of Blacksburg has a handful of independent and corporate coffee shops to choose from, but recently, independent shops have received a boost in sales. The closing of the Starbucks on Main Street has sent its regular customers out to find a different caffeine fix. Maddie Johnson, who works at Ego Coffee on Main Street in Blacksburg, explains the recent upswing the store has seen in the days following the close of the nearby Starbucks.
Yeah, definitely, especially in the first week after, we had lines literally out of the door ever since it closed. And then even still to this day, it's busier because of that.
Starbucks announced in June that it would be closing over 150 stores in 2018. These stores were showing underperformance in sales and therefore were shut down to save the company from overspending. Starbucks claimed that the poor performance was due to overpopulating areas with the stores. In the meantime, local coffee shops will continue to enjoy the influx of customer traffic and less competition within Blacksburg.
In other news, residential life on Virginia Tech campus is unique. Students who choose to live on campus have the option of choosing traditional housing or applying to join a living learning community. Living learning communities combine a student's interests with their lifestyle. Newsfeed reporter Danielle Jeffers tells us more in this next story.
Tech's on-campus living experience provides a variety of options. As a freshman, students can begin their college experience in traditional housing, a suite, or a living learning community. Virginia Tech offers 11 different living learning communities, also known as LLCs, that are centered around a topic.
I think living learning communities do a really good job of creating organic community. There are people in place like the program director and the RAs and RLCs to help people build that community.
Students who choose to enroll in an LLC usually take a class together and have a dedicated space in their residence hall. Studio 72 is one of the newer living learning communities and is located in Pritchard Hall. Members of Studio 72 express their creativity through art, which includes music, painting, poetry, and more. LLCs provide an inclusive community and interdisciplinary experience for any student who chooses to join.
Honestly, that's one of the reasons why I enjoy being in this space, is because when I am so busy and not able to go out and do general things with people not in the LLC, I do still have people to come and talk to.
Studio 72 is one of 3 living learning communities in Pritchard Hall. Innovate, an entrepreneurial LLC, and Thrive, a service-based living learning community, are located on the 1st and 3rd floors. This is Danielle Jeffers reporting for the Newsfeed.
That will wrap up this edition of the Newsfeed. If you have a story idea for the Newsfeed, let us know. Send us an email at thenewsfeednrb@gmail.com. And as always, you can always connect with the Newsfeed on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks for watching. I'm Jay So.
And I'm Allie Lemaire.